Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the In a Planar Crossroads, and welcome back to our 1,000 subscriber special, where we are doing our live game, which was Winner's Choice, and they are currently on the hunt. They did a lot of their pre-rolls, pre-hunt rolls, and then actual observational rolls on the way to the town in which the hunt is starting. So, they have made it there. And let me see, before we jump into the game, we will do any brief announcements. As I said last time, I don't really have any announcements for this one. It is November when this is coming out, Lord willing, so that means that the collaboration will have been filmed for the conclusion of Iliad's time skip, so that'll be good. Oh.
Awesome. Battle trance, deathless trance, impervious trance.
Oh no, dude.
I can't be knocked unconscious. I'm immune to anything attacking my resolve.
I have never done that kind of build. I'm kind of excited to see how it goes. That's awesome.
And, with the deathless trance... Oh, hey, I think he's back.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm back. Yep, lovely internet issues. I'll splice this and
we're
stuff.
Just saying, for the viewers, we're the ones that cut out, not you.
Well, that's true. But I had to stop myself, and I just pick up when we get back together. So, okay, we're back. I'm doing quick announcements. Collaboration is done, Lord willing. Iliad's time skip has been filmed, and that's all I have for this particular one, because I don't know what's happening in November, but I'm pretty sure that by our New Year's video that comes out December/January on New Year's, I will have another goal lined out for next year. So that'll be that. That's awesome. What I've got. What you got, Dan, before we start in on this?
Yeah, well, just real quick, you can find Avenue Studios, YouTube, Rumble, and podcasts anywhere found. We live stream Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and one of those in October 12th, will have been a game with Adam from In a Planar Crossroads, running a Fallout-style game with Kristen and I, and hopefully Great Moustache, and maybe somebody else. And otherwise we're doing Pathfinder 2nd Edition Outlaws of Elkinstar until our characters die, basically. So that is what we are doing.
Well, after seeing how they handled the whole bank robbery situation, it may not be too long. We'll see.
No, probably not.
There are going to be some bounty hunters. They're going to all after y'all. Tell you what.
Tell you what.
All right. And then we have Moustache. Do you have anything you need to announce, Moustache?
No, I mean, if I could actually roll precognition for myself, I could tell you a whole lot of things. But hopefully before the end of the year, a Kickstarter will be started for some additional content for Open Legend. And hopefully some other stuff will get released. I have a few things that are almost finished on projects that I just need to do the final few steps through it so it can get released.
Okie dokie. All right then. And Jeppe is our guest, our winner of the 1,000 subs. So good for him. And this is, I think he told me before, this was his first time playing anything above a level 1 Open Legend character. So,
hoorah!
It's a big jump.
I have DM'd up to level 3, I think, but
okay.
Played myself.
Okie dokie.
Awesome.
Well, levels mean quite a bit in Open Legend, considering how condensed the leveling system is and the way that the experience all works. So, should be fun. I think that's everything. Unless y'all have anything, let's dive on back in. So, we cut off last time where the group had just made it within sight of the town, and had made it a day before the new moon would fully be there. And the hunt would be expected to fully begin. As the group has crested the small hill, the town that they have been journeying to, which didn't have much of a name to start with, because it's right there at the edge of three different powerful people. So you had the dwarves, right up here you had the dwarves of the Western Mountains, or the stone folk of the Western Mountains. The section here of the woods usually ruled over by the Star Children, and then the center land right here having control of that. So there's a lot of interaction there. They hadn't settled on a name fully yet, but they had started building a town, which tends to happen. So you guys have gone there knowing where it is, usually called the North Settlement or something like that. You made it, and all the fields were empty, and all the town had no bustle. No life seemed to be in it. And the fields had crops in them that had been left. The plows were not where they should be. None of this is taking place during autumn, we'll say, and none of the pumpkins or other gourds had been gathered. No corn shucked. And you've come to this town that should be doing business, but is empty. So what would you like to do coming to this town?
I think Lizbith is just gonna go into full gallop, full speed into town to try and find people without even considering anything. Little brash flaw going on there. Just charge in, irregardless of what danger there may be, and start looking for people and shouting for anybody.
Okie dokie. Everybody else following?
And sorry, what was that?
Is everybody else following, or what are we doing?
Killian will follow slowly. I assume we didn't even hear news of this on the road or anything.
Well, you left the road too.
Complete surprise. That's true. Fair. Yeah, I think Killian will follow slower. I assume he's a little used to Lizbith just taking off.
Fair enough.
Estal will keep pace with Killian.
I'm going to be looking around to see what's wrong. He's trying to see if there's some kind of disease or blight or anything. He's just trying to assess the situation.
Okay.
And what time of day are we? Is the sun up right now, or are we?
The sun is up, but it's it's cloudy, so there is a kind of grayness to everything. So it's afternoon, I'd say.
Okay. Pippa, why don't you try to fly up and keep an eye on Lizbith wherever they get to. Make sure Lizbith doesn't get in trouble.
Lizbith is going to go straight to the center of town. Basically, most towns have a center and kind of circle around it, riding fast still.
Fair enough.
Pippa will try to keep up, or at least keep her sight on Lizbith.
If at that time still nobody's come out or responded,
it seems to be deathly quiet.
Still being brash, gonna jump up to stand on the saddle while riding the horse to try and get a greater height to look around, but is uncoordinated, so probably ends up at this point like stumbling off and like falling to the ground as the horse like continues in a circle for a few laps.
So you fall to the ground, and the horse kind of looks back at you, and trots around like you said. The town's stones were already gray. There seems to be an extra layer of mutedness over the entire scene. As you all are coming in, you can either make me a perception or another type of check that you would like to associate with observing the town and the surrounding area.
Yeah, perception sounds good. I think though, Pippa's absent-minded flaw triggers because she is just cracking up when she sees Lizbith fall off of the horse. So Pippa's not paying attention to anything.
19 on perception.
Okay,
Nice.
27.
6.
what was that, Jeppe?
27.
27. All right. Well, so Killian obviously sees nothing. He's kind of distracted by by Pippa, because Pippa is supposed to be watching and is watching, but is not really watching. Is supposed to be taking care of making sure she does, but doesn't do that stuff. But anyway, so he's a bit distracted, and the sound of the laughter the sound of a sprite's laughter is almost, not literally, but almost magically contagious. And yet in this particular moment, no one seems to catch the laughter as something nice. It seems discordant to the rest around. And so even Killian, who's close to Pippa, might not even smile. Because as you go through town, you see all this emptiness. And Lizbith is right there in the center of town. There's hoof marks on the ground from beasts and things and people. Yet there's no people. There's nothing there that is actually where it's supposed to be. You think that this fountain that you have come to in the center of town should be going. It would make sense that the artesian portion of it, which you suspect to be there, should be bubbling and coming up. But nothing's coming up. And all of the life that should be there isn't. And you look in the windows, and let me see, what was your roll?
Mine was a 19.
19? You look in the windows, and it's almost like you see shapes within the windows, but you know they're not there. You know there's nothing physically there, because nothing else is moving, nothing else is going on. And as Estal comes into town, there's this moment where where Estal looks up, and the clouds kind of part away as they're starting to clear this afternoon. It's been cloudy. It's been cloudy this whole time on y'all's journey that day, but there's starting to be a bit of clearing in it, and you see the really muted moon up in the sky, like you kind of get as a bright sunshine is going on. You have that kind of very faded moon, and elven starchild eyes see the celestial bodies differently. You see it clearer than the others, and it's almost like you see a shadow as a connection between the shadow in the moon and this place. And you see those shapes in the windows clearer than Lizbith does, and they look like people that should be here, but there's no one here. It looks like there is a life happening here. Like, there's people and stuff if you look in the windows very, very faintly, but there's actually no one here. Also, you see some fresher tracks, too. You see large hand and footprints, sometimes going all fours and sometimes going on the hind legs.
It seems like the beast has already been through here.
Do we know if have we heard any stories? I kind of look at Killian about mind-altering effects, illusions, hallucinations that can be created.
Let me check. Did we?
Are you referencing the notes as you look?
Yeah, whatever you think is right. Or did we run across that?
Not in the first gleaning, but you can make if you reference the book along your reference material along with that and spend a second to do so, then you can roll with advantage.
Okay. Yeah. Killian would take the time to do that.
I'm also going to look at the Star Child. Do you have any abilities to enhance your vision to see through illusionary effects?
Yes, I do. I should be able to pierce whatever veil is covering this place. I'll try to invoke True Sight.
Okay. $24. All right.
Nice.
So we've got a prescience roll. And then, what was your...
That should be power level 7.
Cool beans. What was your roll, Dan?
And I assume... Sorry, I just want to double check. Am I rolling learning for the books?
Yeah, if you're referencing your material you brought with you.
Yep, okay. Man, this D20 might need to be fired, but we got an explodey. Okay. It's not bad, though. My 6s are covering me. Okay, 23.
23. Okay, some meaningful rolls, then. We'll cover Dan's roll first. The learning roll gets you that the beast, at least the last time it was encountered, didn't favor making illusions, but it did favor movements, quick movements that seemed supernaturally affected and affecting on not just itself, but things it would try to influence. And this leads into what Estal is seeing too. When they try to peer into things and look at the true nature, you see that shadow that you noticed before darkens and becomes a deep connection, where it's almost like during an eclipse where the shadow comes over a specific area. It's like that on this town. And because this is based out of prescience, it's almost like you're seeing not just this town be there, but there's a slow swelling of the shadow that seems to be pushing outward to make it go further, all leading back to a connection in the moon and the beast. It's almost like a pulling towards that dark side of the moon is happening.
Shadow of the moon seems to be enveloping this area.
Yes, so it's not quite not quite an illusion. Are they perhaps being shifted into another plane of existence, or maybe just off of ours? This is fascinating.
Fascinating, certainly, but maybe not safe for, well, the inhabitants of this place.
Now, just strange. I don't know, Lizbith, are you seeing any signs of struggle or anything?
Lizbith has already, moved away.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to activate Blind Sight just to see better in the shadows and stuff. So I rolled a 25 for that.
Okay.
And I want to use my Master Tracker feat to lock on to the footprints and stuff that were already spotted by the others. And basically with the Master Tracker feat, once I've found a trail, I can't lose it for, up to 7 days or something. So I want to use that to kind of see and follow where it's been and where it's moved to.
Okay.
And so basically I'm just hyper-focused. And Killian, you might have noticed that too, that I'm just following a trail now.
Well, I don't know if Lizbith has caught the scent, but caught something. Estal, do you want to keep up with Lizbith a little? I'm getting... I don't know, I have a thought. I might try something. He's going to pull out his spell book.
Okay.
So Killian has something he wants to do, but I don't want to... If you want to go with Lizbith for now.
Okay. So...
Yeah, I'm just looking did it go into houses? What's his path through this town?
You look around, and how long do you want to kind of keep searching this around and out? How far outside of the town do you want to go, or do you want to stay in the town?
I'm just a little curious, if it went into any of the buildings, or if it was just out in the public. And then once I get to the edge of town, I'll kind of stop and look over my shoulder and see if they're following or not at that point. But kind of see what direction the path seems to be taking out of town. Okay.
So you guys kind of watch Lizbith do the things it does, and as you do, you can tell it goes in the houses. You can tell the beast entered the houses, and that there must have been a rain or something like that that came when that happened, but not after, and solidified some of the tracks. Because yes, it appears like this happened over multiple days, but it was like there was no struggle in between those two comings. There's definite solid tracks, ones that mirror those that Estal saw, and going both on all fours or on the hind legs, entering houses and then leaving houses, but no struggle in between. There's no nothing that makes it seem like there was this big battle against this beast. Rather that things were just done. And the beast tracks are odd, even for an expert tracker like yourself. They are odd to kind of get an idea on, because sometimes they seem very heavy, and sometimes the tracks that have been left behind seem light, almost airy. And this change of density is the best that you can kind of get on it. Not like it's carrying something, but like whatever it's doing to itself is insubstantiating part of it at some points and things like that. And it goes through all the different places of this empty town, and then its tracks always lead out towards the wooded area.
Yeah, so if I'm at the edge of town and they're not there, I'll kind of wait for them, or I'll call back to them.
I'll probably have caught up to you by the time you reach the edge of town.
All right.
What's Killian doing right now?
This is his flaw of compulsion. Is he's seeking specifically magic that can shift you into different planes, because he believes the person he's trying to find that he lost in his backstory got shifted rather than died. And so he's always trying to seek. So this is kind of exactly what he's looking for. So I'm just totally going into the flaw in that he's going to do his shapeshift to gain access to movement. And he's not powerful enough to do the shifting to other planes, but he's going to attempt to see if like he can shift his sight or try to see into this other, what he assumes to be they've been shifted off of our plane or to another plane, and he's trying to see if he can mimic that.
Okay. So. And
it is a flaw, so if things go bad, that's, the idea.
So you're dead.
Yeah.
Down to 2. No. Let me see. Killian needs to roll a will save. Oh, not a will save. That's hell over. Roll will. And...
Okay.
Well, first roll me your alteration to show me how well you have performed this gazing into shifting magic like that. And then we'll see how hard it is on Killian.
Fair enough. And what I imagine is he pulls his spellbook out, turns to the right page, gets out components if he needs, and he sits down kind of like a meditative pose. And then Pippa flies over and sits on his head in kind of the same pose, and she flutters her wings. This is what they always do, and a little bit of Sprite fairy dust is falling over him. So I'm hoping she can bolster him, because that's like her thing.
Be a good idea.
Okay. So she has boon focused on that, the first tier, power level 3. So that's one advantage. Okay.
By the way, everybody has activated a flaw. You each get 1 more legend point to use during the hunt.
Yay! Well, that D20 is going to dice jail.
Uh-oh.
Dice jail.
Why did it take you so long?
I don't, I'm
especially when you're doing a save or die here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't quite call it that, but...
He has he's pretty good, because he's rolling as an attribute 8 with extraordinary focus, so that really helps. Okay. So I got 2 exploding 8s with a 3 on the D20. So 16, 19, 21, 2 explodies. 9, so that's a 30 total.
Okay. That is enough to help you out. So,
yeah.
You control the magics enough, and the flow of the energy and movement of things, that as you close your eyes while you're meditating, and you open your eyes and you see a town. You see this town, but it's in the dark. And you look above you, up, and you see what looks like a tar and lights coming from it, but you see the sun on the other side of the island, and there's day, but where's the rest of the globe? Where's the rest of everything else that's supposed to be there? You see the island, you see the sea around it, but the sea falls into nothing, into the void, and the waters seem to swirl back up and go back into the sea. You see protruding below a tar, a spike of ground, and everything's just floating there in space. And you look around, and everybody looks at each other, and their sockets are empty. They are like husks filled with void, with emptiness, and the smoke wisps come out of them as they speak to each other and go about their lives here on this place, this dark place. And behind you, you feel a breath on the back of your neck. Is it time for me to visit you? And you are able, because of the control you have, to pull back before anything happens. And your eyes flash open, and you guys, while you were there watching, you two could have seen him from where you were. For a very brief moment, the shadows deepened around him, and it was like he started to fade away. You're nauseated for one round. Not that really matters, but...
Okay. That was fun. I think it might be coming. I assume I've never read about a place like that before.
A place in the dark like that? Not likely. Take a really good learning roll, because it's not a common theory proposed.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like the idea. He's never even heard of it. And correct me if I'd look up, so like Atar was it in the sky kind of pointing down with that spike, or was it more like I was looking across a sea of darkness and seeing Atar out there?
More like that.
Okay.
You were over it in the way that a celestial body is over another celestial body. As relative as that is.
Gotcha. Yes. Whew. I don't know.
Yeah, I think as the darkness seemed to swell around Killian, I would have caused the elemental bow to appear in my hand, ready to shoot if need be.
I think I saw where everyone is. Excuse me. Some kind of shadow realm. I could actually see all of Atar. Like on a pillar. But everything was weird. their sockets, their eyes were gone. I don't know if anyone's still alive. Or whatever kind of life that is. But it may have seen me. Or smelled me?
We could use you as bait.
Yep, might have done that already.
Well, I mean, we could push you out, have you walk out into the forest and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a walk would help. Stomach's a little off.
You said it was coming fast. It might be better to fortify ourselves in any way possible.
Well, let's see. We know it moves fast.
It's definitely shifting in and out of this plane or something like that. I just don't know what it wants. If all the people are still there, is it consuming their souls, or I'm not sure.
Now, this creature in the past just caused like destruction. What did it do that warranted for it to be hunted and killed?
People did start disappearing, is how it started the last time. People started disappearing, usually because it was kind of in this similar area. It was not like the disappearances were unheard of, because at that point, 100 years ago, there was no town there. So this was like a frontier type of spot. Kind of idyllic, by a lake and all that, but no one had been settling it yet. And this settlement reasons it's unnamed is because it's less than 100 years old. It doesn't really have a spot on the map, though it was starting to bustle. This is definitely more people disappearing at one time than you saw in the notes from last time, though.
So it may be getting more powerful. I'm wondering if it would be better to fight this out in the open or from high ground. So it has less chance to get cover. Of course, we would have less chance too, but...
It is capable of switching between this plane and another. It might be better to just face it on open ground where it doesn't have as much opportunity to, appear in a place where we wouldn't be able to see it.
I suppose we hopefully can have an advantage if we do know it's looking for me. We can at least pick the spot.
I pull out a big stake and a chain so I can make Killian be the goat in Jurassic Park.
Rather excessive. Do you think it's on the nose?
So, like, how much distance is... Because you said the tracks last led out of town to the smaller forest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And how much, like, are we talking about, like, a few yards? Or are we talking about, like, several football fields away?
Not several. It's a couple football fields away. They've been harvesting some of the trees from there anyway, so it's not that too far.
But we could go halfway there and have clear line of sight. But now, in most of the descriptions, it was hunting back. Was that usually like in forested areas, or?
There was more forest in this area at the time, so yeah. But it seemed intelligent and would hunt back if it was trying to be hunted.
Gotcha.
Right. My only other concern is that they thought they defeated it last time, and in fairness, disintegrating into dust feels rather complete.
We'll follow the dust this time.
Very good.
I'm keeping an eye out at the forest during this whole conversation, too.
Whatever they did seems to have at least wounded the beast since it has been inactive for so long.
Yes.
This special moon thing that's happening, is this a regular occurrence, or is this like is this just a regular full moon event, or is this a special full moon event that's happening?
The new moon, there's a new moon each month, but this type of thing with the beast has not happened in 100 years. And before 100 years ago, you guys couldn't really find very good records before that. So it's a little vague on whether it existed before that. So maybe it's a 100-year cycle, or maybe it's just a thing that's come back in this about 100 years. That's hard to discern.
Gotcha. Yeah, the question now is, do we wait here, or do we go track it down? Because I kind of nudge Killian forward towards the forest a little bit.
Yes, well, I don't know. I like the idea of the open ground. And it seems like it will come, I assume.
What do you feel, Estal? Do you have any leanings, any tuggings from the stars telling you what we should do?
Well, as a master, I'll try to invoke precognition again.
Okay.
The GM, tell us what to do.
Yeah.
That's good. That's 23.
23?
23, yeah.
All right. Like we mentioned before, the sky had started to clear. It's been a little while, y'all been talking, and as more of the sky is cleared, you also see that it seems to be getting darker here earlier. You look up, and let me see, it's almost there. So the sun is starting to get close to the eastern mountains, and usually you'd have a lot of glare coming in as those mountains started to have their shadow extend all the way over. But it's reached further here, and you can see the stars better in this twilight. And you see your star that represents you, as each star child has one, or at least they believe they have one. You see your star. It seems to have moved itself as you look at it, and it seems to move itself towards a dense gathering of stars. It seems to be like you're getting the idea that this darkness that is there close to your star is inside that other cluster of stars, and you move towards that, and the other stars with you in your mind's eye move towards that and away from this more ordered set of a constellation, which represents the constellation representing a tower or civilization in your eyes. So the leading would be kind of an idea of maybe to deal with the thing fully, might need to go into the trees.
Perhaps we should try to find its nest or wherever it remains on this plane. Perhaps that would be the key to extinguishing it for good.
That's a fair point.
Forward then, and I'll still maintaining my blind sight, especially for being darker under the canopy, and tracking the tracks.
Okie dokie. So, you've gotten the trail. You can't lose the physical trail. You do notice as you all journey, there are clear markings and clear tracks going out towards the grove as it begins. And journeying through it, the lack of physical tracks gets more and more present. It's more and more that there's a lack of physical tracks to be able to follow. You instead have to look more at maybe running off of your instincts. So it takes longer to track as you move through. And let me see. Roll me a d6.
Five.
All right. It takes quite a while to track. You never lose it, but it winds around. It's almost like the deeper into this grove, which is not small, it's big enough to appear on that map. And you seem to be making your way through that grove, through that bundle of trees, to its heart. And it takes several hours to do so. Night starts to fall. And you all feel the darkness around you. It's not like shadows falling on you. It's not light. There's a pressure there every time you go into the dark. And it is a dark night. Even when you come into the light, into a clearing in the trees, there's no real moon. And you guys don't see, when you look up at the moon, any form there anymore. You don't see that thing that was moving across the shadow of the moon there anymore. And you feel, you're being watched. As you've made your way through, let me see. You are able to track the thing pretty close to where you think its nest is. And it's about that time that we need to roll initiative.
Awesome.
All right.
Do you want Pippa just acting with me, or do you want me to roll her separate?
She can act on your initiative, if that's all right.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine with me.
While y'all are rolling, while we roll up initiative and everything, we're going to cut right here so that we can get right into what's going to happen next. So, I'm just going to turn off.
Sweet.
And then run to the restroom and come back, and we can all do the same if we need to, but we're coming to the climax. So, y'all roll your initiatives. As always, for you viewers, have a great day. God bless, and goodbye. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.
I'm here and I can hear you, but I'm giving some attention to my cat, so just holler at me when you're ready to start.
Okay.
Cat demanding pets and food.
You had to tame your own beast. Maybe a little jet lag for Moustache. I don't know if you were flying or not.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely flying. How are things with you're waiting for an internet connection to happen at the end of the month? Is that end of the year, I mean?
It's the end of the year thing, yeah. Once that happens, how appropriate that the internet cuts out a little bit when you ask about it. Yeah.
Well, you know.
The internet, the new internet should be here, if not November, then December, I think is how it's working out. In which case, we won't have to worry so much about this, I don't think. This whole cutting in and out.
Right.
Then I might be able to do some more live type stuff. Let people see that. Have fun with live things. I've thought about doing some live art streaming or something like that so that I can actually schedule out making the art for the PDFs and things, and people can see it and see progress. Y'all should be able to get to see fight/stuff the beast this time, and we'll see if you take it. We'll see if you guys take it out an hour, or if we need that next hour to do the rest of the beast stuff.
Right. Says he's on his way.
It looked like he said you know, since he was helping with the car. I thought, oh yeah, there you go. So what system do you usually play, Jeppe?
Mostly 5e. Dungeon Crack.
Car is operating.
Yay!
There you go.
There's a dead battery.
Oh.
Nothing terrible.
Oh, you will be pleased, Dan. Maybe. I found the dice I was going to use for the Jin. So, I'll be able to use them this time when I come up. We'll see if they roll as good as the metal dice.
That's awesome. Yes. I don't know. I'm rolling metal dice today, and I started out with a 1, so...
All right. So, y'all ready?
Well, we'll find out shortly, won't we?
Yeah.